Welcome to the Bible Conversations podcast. Our focus for conversation starters this year is going to be practical tips on how to begin a conversation with someone about the Bible and about Jesus. We hope that you will find some helpful information in these short segments that will enable you to share your faith with others.
Today's conversation starter key is allow. As in, God allows us to choose what we will. In the first chapter of Paul's letter to the church in Rome, he talks about that choice that all people have. That even though we can see that there is a creator around us, that based on the creation that he has made, that we can see it with our own two eyes, we still have a choice of what we will do with that information, whether we will serve him and follow him and obey him, or whether we will choose to serve sin and follow sinful things and live sinful lives. In the first chapter of the letter to the church in Rome, Paul talks about the people that do follow sinful lives, that choose to participate in sin, how God has given them up to their sin. It says in verse 26, "For this reason, God gave them up to dishonorable passions. For their women exchanged natural relations for those that are contrary to natural. And the men likewise gave up natural relations with women and were consumed with passion for one another, men committing shameless acts with men and receiving in themselves the due penalty for their error." Just a few verses ahead in verse 24, he even says, "Therefore God gave them up in the lust of their hearts to impurity, to the dishonoring of their bodies among themselves, because they exchanged the truth about God for a lie, and worshipped and served the creature rather than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen." God has given us a choice. He has allowed us to choose whether we will follow him or whether we will not. He's given us free will. So my question to you is, with that allowance that he has given you, what are you going to choose? Are you going to choose to serve him, to spread the news about him, about his son, the good news of Jesus Christ and the saving news that is? Or will you choose to follow sin and ignore the good Creator, the good God that has given life to all? The Israelites were faced with this same question at the end of the book of Joshua, as they finished their conquest over the promised land that God had promised to them. And as Joshua is addressing the Israelites as they're about to go in and occupy the land that God had promised them, Joshua said to the people in chapter 24, verse 15, "If it is evil in your eyes to serve the Lord, choose this day whom you will serve, whether the gods your fathers served in the region beyond the river, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land you dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord." Even the Israelites, who saw the incredible works that God did in order to give them this land, still had a choice. They still were allowed the opportunity to choose to serve God or choose to follow their own passions. Today, what will you choose with the allowance that God has given you?
Thank you for listening to this conversation starter. We appreciate your desire to share your faith with others, and we hope that this episode has been of benefit to you. If you would like to reach us, please email us at kcocbibleconversations@gmail.com. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram by simply searching Bible Conversations. Please check back in on Fridays for our full episode.